Hey, Canucks fans, welcome to the Line Change Podcast, a presentation of DraftKings. The crown is yours. The Line Change Podcast is also a proud member of the Hockey Podcast Network. Be sure to check out the network for your favorite podcast covering your favorite team at thehockeypodcastnetwork.com, the home of hockey podcasts, every team, everywhere. Now, in this video, we're going to be talking about Elias Pettersson and his return to the lineup after missing 8 games. After missing 8 games, he returned to the lineup against San Jose a couple of nights ago or on Saturday. We're going to go over his comments from prior to the game. So from the morning skate, we're going to go over his comments as he did speak to the media for the first time since prior to his injury. So therefore, we got to hear from Elias Pettersson for the first time since the Quinn Hughes trade. And in his comments, he spoke about his injury and his recovery process as well. He didn't really say what the injury was, but he did also touch briefly on the Quinn Hughes trade. And I reiterate very, very briefly. Of course, as I mentioned, we haven't heard from Elias Pettersson since the trade happened, so we don't really know how he's feeling, what he thought of the trade. We also know that a report came out saying that Quinn Hughes and Elias Pettersson's in the last year have drifted apart when it comes to their friendship. Pettersson did reference, or I should say refer to Quinn as a longtime friend of his. So we're going to dive into the injury a little bit as well. Now, of course, Pettersson did not fess up and tell the media what the actual injury is. Now, I'm no doctor, nor do I have the inside scoop on what his injury actually was. But based on his interview, I'm going to try and dissect and I guess investigate just what the injury was. So without any further ado, I'm going to bring up the article from Canucks Army, and let's go ahead and dive into it. Here we go. This was written by David Quadrelli of Canucks Army. After Saturday's morning skate, Pettersson met with reporters and confirmed that he would be back in the lineup for the game against the Sharks. Pettersson had missed the last 8 games for the Canucks, last playing on December 5th when the Canucks fell 5-1 to the Utah Mammoth. Pettersson says that when he took warm-ups the next day for the Canucks' December 6th matchup with the Minnesota Wild, he knew his injury would keep him from playing. While Pettersson didn't divulge exactly what was ailing him or when he sustained the injury, he did share that it caused him to feel pain when shooting the puck. And then this is a quote from Pettersson himself. "There was a lot of pain trying to shoot the puck, but it feels good now," said Pettersson, who admitted the injury held him out longer than he originally expected. "You can feel bad off the ice, but when you get on the ice, it feels better. But yeah, I tried. It was too much pain." While there was some hope that Pettersson might return to the lineup during the club's pre-break New York area road trip, Pettersson only managed to practice with his teammates, who wrapped up their first post-Hughes road trip with 4 wins and 1 loss. Over the entirety of Pettersson's 8-game absence, the Canucks mustered 5 wins and 3 losses. Notably, the Canucks rattled off 4 straight victories, following the trade that saw Quinn Hughes head to the Minnesota Wild. Pettersson was asked for his thoughts on the trade, and Pettersson would say, "I mean, Quinn is Quinn. We all know how good he is. It's tough to lose him. A friend for a long time for me, but it's a business at the end of the day. Just happy with the return we got. The players are looking good. So yeah, just turn the page and move forward." Overall, Pettersson says he's pleased with what he's seen from his team in his absence. He would go on to say, "I mean, the road trip was great. I think we played some good hockey, so we'll just try to build on that. It's been good. Obviously, there was a big change since the last time I played, but the new guys have been looking good." So there's that. As you can see, PD being his usual reserved self when it comes to interviews, giving short answers. He didn't reveal what the injury was, as we mentioned. He did touch briefly on the new additions of Bouillon, Rossi, and Ogren. He then, of course, mentioned Quinn by name, and I believe it was JPAT who was the reporter who actually asked him about, the Quinn Hughes trade, and asked him about his thoughts on it and the new look for the Canucks as well. I felt as though he was pretty coy with his answer. The whole like Quinn is Quinn line that he had, he kind of actually dismissed like the question, like he didn't want to talk about it at all. He then, as we saw, went on to talk about the road trip. Now I want to get into the injury stuff. And do a little, investigating. We still do not know what the injury was, other than it was an upper body injury, and he needed an MRI, which I believe came back negative. That didn't show any, severe damage, but it was enough to have Pettersson out for 8 games. I've got my investigative toque on right now, so going by his comments on there being a lot of pain trying to shoot the puck, I'm going to say it's likely an arm, hand, or wrist injury, most likely. I mean, I know PD has had a wrist injury in the past, and it has affected his shot. Of course, we won't actually know what the injury is. I mean, who knows? It may even be an elbow issue, or it could have been an elbow issue. I mean, if you think about it, he says it hurt when he would try to shoot the puck. So it must be something to do with his arms, his elbow, his hand, his wrist. That is what I believe the injury may have been. Again, we won't know until they actually reveal what it actually is, if they even do. But I'm speculating that it was something to do with his arm, hand, elbow, or wrist, and that is why he was in a lot of pain when trying to shoot the puck. Before we continue actually, hang on. Did I miss anything? No, I did not. Before we continue on our Elias Pettersson discussion and move on to the trade rumors and the trade speculation that I want to get into in this video as well, I'd like to take a moment to thank the sponsors of this video, starting off with my primary and main sponsor, DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting book of the NHL. The jaw-dropping moments that make hockey, well, hockey. Experience them all with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. Missouri listeners, listen up. DraftKings Sportsbook is now live in the Show Me State. New customers, this one's just for you. Bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN, that's code THPN, to turn $5 into $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY, which is 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. Pass-through of per wager. Tax may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which will expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. This is a limited time offer. Copyright of the NHL 2025. All rights reserved. All right. I'd like to give a shout out and thank you to my secondary sponsor, Gassy Jack Art, maker of this incredible artwork you see behind my shoulder here. Sorry, my hand's in the way. But you guys can check them out yourselves at GassyJackArt.com. I can't remember exactly if he still has his buy two get two free sale that he's had on for most of the year. But go ahead and check him out, GassyJackArt.com. All right, let's get into these trade rumors and rumored packages involving Elias Pettersson and this sudden trade speculation that's going on for EP40. Now, keep in mind, these are merely rumors, not offers. Nor have these been reported by Elliot Friedman, who I see as the king of, all sources, along with Rick Dollywall. But I do believe Dolly may have tweeted something about this in particular. I can't exactly remember. I believe it was may have been on Twitter. But anyway, let's dive into this first trade rumor and package for that matter. Everyone knows that the Carolina Hurricanes have been interested in Elias Pettersson, at least in the past. Depending on who you ask, some would even say Pettersson was almost dealt to Carolina before signing that $11.6 million contract that we all love to hate. Before it was vetoed. So it's only natural that Elias Pettersson trade rumors are stirring up again, and Carolina is like the front runner when it comes to, trade speculation and maybe wanting to acquire him. So this package I saw on NHLTradeTalk.com, so take it with a grain of salt. And as I said before, this is just a trade rumor and potential package for Hurricanes to acquire Elias Pettersson. Was the price. You guys ready? The hypothetical deal floating around involves the Canucks sending Elias Pettersson to Raleigh in exchange for Andrei Svechnikov, dynamic young forward Logan Stankoven, and a 2026 first-round pick. So that is a huge, huge deal right there. Sorry, guys, let me... You don't want that. We want this guy. There we go. Here's like a visual of the trade that I'm talking about here. We touched on this briefly during our post-game show on Saturday, but the question is, would Carolina do this? This is a pretty big ask. Some would even call it an overpay, or rather on Carolina's part. If this was prime Elias, it's a done deal. Montreal, that I do not have a graphic for, and I'm not really sure about the trade either, and the legitimacy of said trade. Sure, I'd love to have a guy like that Gerald was talking about in our post-game show the other night. But I doubt Montreal is giving him up for PD. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below about the Elias Pettersson interview where he, spoke about his injury. He spoke about Quinn Hughes very, very briefly, though. And what are your thoughts on his, demeanor during that interview? Did he kind of come off as standoffish in that, post morning skate, little scrum that he did? What are your thoughts on this injury, or this, I guess you can call it a mystery injury for Elias Pettersson? Do you agree with me that it could be a hand, wrist, arm, or maybe even elbow injury that Pettersson suffered, and prevented him from playing for 8 games, and made it so when he tried to shoot the puck, it would he would be in a lot of pain. And I quote, sorry, just had some hair. And also, what are your guys' thoughts on this trade speculation when it comes to Elias Pettersson? What do you guys think about the Carolina package? Would you guys do that package? Now, I'm not saying if you were the Carolina Hurricanes, because you probably wouldn't. But if you were a Canucks fan and Carolina, let's just do this. If you were the general manager, if you were Patrick Allvin, and you were the general manager of the Vancouver Canucks and the Carolina Hurricanes, Eric Tulsky went to you, was like, hey, we want Elias Pettersson. We're willing to give you this. Andrei Svechnikov, Logan Stankoven, and a first-round pick in 2026. Would you take it? Let me know in the comment section down below. I know if I was, most certainly if I was playing in NHL 26, I would absolutely take, and if I got offered this, I would take this in a heartbeat. Absolutely. But let me know in the comment section down below if you guys would do this trade, and what would you guys think about having a guy like Svechnikov as a member of the Vancouver Canucks. Same thing with Logan Stankoven, who is actually a BC boy, and also he was obviously linked, to the Vancouver Canucks when it came to the Quinn Hughes trade, and that package from Carolina that we talked about in that. So obviously, the Canucks have their eyes on Logan Stankoven and really like him. But once again, let me know in the comment section down below. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And as always, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. If you want to stay up to date on all your Vancouver Canucks content, be sure to smash that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss a single video. You can join the discussion on our official Discord channel. There's a link to it in the description down below. It's completely free to join, so go ahead and join today. Like I said, it doesn't cost you anything, and we can have more discussions, conversations about the Vancouver Canucks, especially when it comes to trades or potential trade packages. And feel free to find and interact with us on social media. You can find us on all of our social medias right there: Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok. Feel free to give us a follow on all of our social media platforms. And if you prefer a audio version of this podcast, you can find us on both Spotify and Apple Podcasts. On Spotify, feel free to give us a follow, as well as rate and review us on either platform, as well as be sure to download your favorite episode on both Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It, of course, really helps out the podcast. And once again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And as always, like I always say, let's go Canucks. And I'll catch you guys next time.